Our top story at the moment, the Indian Navy has begun probing the accident that occurred on INS Sindhuratna submarine. A 15-member team has entered the submarine now to probe why the mishap occurred. 2 officers are feared dead while 7 were evacuated from the submarine. There were 75 people on board, including a commodore who was commanding the submarine. Alright, so now a probe has started into that accident. It's a very serious concern for India because there have been several mishaps in the Navy. And remember, earlier on last year, there was another accident that took place in a submarine in which 18 sailors were lost. In fact, in this submarine accident of INS Sindhuratna, we now know that 2 sailors are in fact dead. Apart from that, we know that a 15-member team has now entered the submarine to probe why the mishap occurred. 2 officers, as I was pointing out, are feared dead. 7 have been evacuated from the submarine. They were all airlifted, in fact, to a hospital. Now, in the submarine, there were about 75 people at the time of the accident, including a commodore who was commanding the submarine. Shiv Arur is now joining us with more details on the probe that is now starting. Shiv, prima facie, do we have any clues at the moment as to why this accident occurred, even though a probe is on now?
Very preliminary findings have emerged, Maha, all of them unofficial, obviously, because that 15-member team led by a Commodore rank officer from the Western Naval Command who are still inspecting the submarine even as we speak. The ventilation process started, as we reported, about an hour ago. There is no specific update also on the fate of the 2 officers, the Lieutenant Commander and the Lieutenant, basically the Deputy Electrical Officer and the Watchkeeping Officer, who are still officially designated as missing or unaccounted for as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, Maha. But at this time, what we can tell you is that the submarine has been fully surfaced. It is moving on its own power, even though this is on reduced power. It's heading back towards Mumbai, though it hasn't reached just yet. There are 2 ships that are currently escorting the submarine. That 15-member inspection team has been looking inside the submarine to ascertain precisely what happened. But I can tell you that it's going to take more than just today. It's going to take at least 3 to 4 days before they figure out precisely what happened. There was a gas leak situation, like we've been reporting, in that forward compartment, in the battery compartment, which actually forced this emergency evacuation. I've just gotten off the phone a short while ago with my sources at the Western Naval Command, and they're still hoping against hope that the 2 officers who we've just named are still alive. In every sense, it's that sinking feeling, Maha, for the Navy. Like we've been reporting also since this morning, this particular incident is almost identical to what happened in 2008 involving the then Russian submarine, now an Indian nuclear submarine, the INS Chakra, Maha, where the fire suppression system, which has freon gas, was accidentally, activated. Now, it remains to be seen whether the probe will ascertain whether this was an accidental activation of the fire suppression system. Was there really a fire? Was there a short circuit? And, what really happened in those extremely tense minutes after that?
Right. And a 15-member team has entered the submarine to probe the mishap. In fact, as Shiv was pointing out there, the 2 officers are officially still being termed as missing and not dead. However, the Navy is at the moment not very hopeful about them being alive. Very tragic incident there coming to light, but several accidents, as we were pointing out, having taken place in the Navy, a cause of serious concern. Shiv, many thanks for joining us with those details.